Neil Cannon here, author of The Vitality Secret. I'm here in beautiful Scottsdale in Arizona with Dr. Thomas Incledon, who is a remarkable man. People flying from all over the world to have their health problems solved. And he works with leading athletes and he helps heal people, which is really cool, mostly without any kind of medication, which is awesome. So today's little interview is going to be on inflammation, which is the topic of The Vitality Secret. And we're going to be talking to Dr. Thomas Incledon just about some of the best ways to reverse it. So before we do that, I just want to give Tom, is it okay if I call you Tom?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I know you well enough now. So we're going to be, I've just decided it's okay to call you Tom. So we're going to be talking about you first.
Okay.
How you got to this position, how you got this incredible facility. This doesn't look like your standard doctor's office, does it? And he's not clearly wearing a white jacket. So how did you get to be in this fantastic facility surrounded by all this equipment that you designed yourself?
I've been real fortunate, obviously. I've been surrounded by an amazing team of professionals, my mentors. I've just studied under really bright guys. And it kind of set the foundation where I started seeing professionals in different areas do amazing things, but kind of in isolation. And I just thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could kind of bring all this stuff together under one roof and have not only people that were really intelligent, but also they care. And that's kind of like a tough combination. Like, I've met amazing physicians, but the bedside manner was terrible. And I think, man, I don't want to ever hang out with that guy, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
And I wanted to create a team of professionals here that not only were they very intelligent or highly competent, but they really care that people get better. You know, it's not about, oh, I'm gonna make money, or it's not about some other variable. It's a good another plaque on my wall or something. It's about making an impact.
Have many of.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Well, you know, that's part of the other thing. So a lot of my friends bust on me, you know, to have all these. They say the more the credentials, the less the credibility, right? And so I got, I don't know, hundreds of certifications, and really it's just because I don't think you could ever know enough. You know, I don't want to be in a position where someone comes in and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I want to be in a position where no matter who comes in, I got tons of things I can do. And only way I can make sure, like, I stay on top of my game is to constantly educate myself and talk to other bright people from all over the world. And thanks to, you know, all kinds of online translation software programs and stuff now, it doesn't even matter the language someone speaks, you could translate it back and forth.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've met guys from Italy and Poland. Now I am Italian and Polish, but unfortunately I'm not fluent in either language. But I happen to meet some really bright scientists from those countries, and I was like, oh man, and sure enough, we could translate back and forth using like Google Translate and stuff like that. So
really, I had no idea.
Yeah, and language wasn't even a barrier. So that's the amazing thing today. Actually, I was talking to someone today, and she was mentioning that her doctor didn't know something. I said, well, you know, let's just assume I don't even know how to spell the word. I could start to spell it like on Google or Bing, and it'll actually give me correct suggestions, and I could find the answer in, maybe 30 seconds. So, like, even when you don't know something, you could get resources to help you. And the point there was just how much technology is available right now, and yet how little people use it to their advantage, especially in medicine.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because, you know, people come in and counting on professionals to help them, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But kind of answering your initial question, we got all kinds of stuff, mostly from the exercise science world. And then we have stuff from all kinds of alternative and complementary, let's say medical world, if you will. And then we got a lot of standard stuff, that's your traditional Western medical stuff. And what we've done is figure out how to integrate all that in a way, and we make it fun.
Yeah.
Like, people laugh a lot here, no matter what they come in with, as we go through this sort of healthy healing process, they laugh a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And not many doctors I visit have this kind of facility here. I mean, you've seen a video at the beginning. There's all sorts of different contraptions as you go around the entire facility. This is just a part of it, but there's like the hippotherapy,
yeah, so
conversion tables,
yeah,
and heat pods, and all sorts of funky tools.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you saw it, you'd probably be like, I don't know what that does, and you might ignore it because it's not like really like visually shocking, or visually appealing. But then, you talk to one of the professionals here and like, oh, here's how it works, here's how it helps you, and you try it, and like, I could feel a difference,
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't buy stuff to look fancy. I bought stuff that would have impact and actually help me to get results with someone.
Got it. Cool. So let's talk about inflammation.
Sure.
That's why one of the reasons why I met you in the first place, because I wanted to find out your ways of doing things, your ways of figuring out how to reverse it without kind of the typical Western way of doing things. I love how you treat every individual as an individual. You've got longer than like a 10-minute time frame to see people, and you take like a whole kind of blood bank, don't you? Test for every single mineral, every single micronutrient, every single vitamin, and see where people are deficient, which is fantastic. And I love that you treat everyone individually. If you were to take a step back from treating everyone individually, are there some recommendations that you can give to people to reverse inflammation? If a lot of us kind of know that we're inflamed if we have something like eczema or asthma or psoriasis or Crohn's disease or IBS. By the way, they're all inflammatory diseases. I didn't know this, but eczema and asthma, which I suffered from most of my life growing up, inflammatory diseases. So if you have something like that, you know that you have inflammation. So what would you say to someone who is typically inflamed, or, if they're suffering from something like that, or if they're very overweight, which we typically know people will be inflamed?
So there's obviously a lot of ways you can approach it, and if you're, regardless of how you approach it, if you're systematic, you're gonna, address each area over time, right? But let's look at it from, let's say I'm trying to control expenses. Like I want to be healthy, but I just don't have a lot of money. Something like that. I don't have a lot of money to spend on health right now. So then simple things, drinking plenty of water. So like in theory, we all want the kind of like the cleanest, purest water to go in our bodies, but we don't always know in the water supply the chemicals that are there.
Yes, and I was talking yesterday about this, wasn't I? Yeah.
So, but even when you don't know what's there, people that drink more water are still healthier than people that don't drink enough water.
Really great.
Yeah.
Point. Really
So I'm not saying, drink, all this bad water type of thing, but I would say I'd rather you drink water with plastic chemicals versus get dehydrated and have kidney problems.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like lesser of two evils, so to speak. So one, drinking water.
Can I just interrupt you a second?
Sure.
I remember last time I interviewed you, we talked about micronutrients, the importance of getting tons of micronutrients into your diet, your vitamins and minerals from plant-based foods. We're surrounded by produce which has all sorts of pesticides and herbicides and fungicides and insecticides on them. Something I'll never forget you saying is it's much better to have fruit and vegetables that have pesticides than to not have them at all.
Yeah.
So it's similar to what you're saying about the water, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the lesser of two evils.
Right. So I mean, sometimes you hear, like you see typically someone hears something from a newspaper article, a magazine, or some type of website that kind of reports things in a newspaper style, and they might say, like 2,500 chemicals found in water. So people then get the wrong impression, like I should stop drinking water or I should stop eating fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
They shouldn't stop doing it. Now, what they may want to do is, especially based on their geography, where they live in the world, and the incidence of chemicals being dumped into their local environment, then they may want to make new decisions. So, okay, hey, I'm going to only get filtered water, and I'm going to use a container that doesn't introduce chemicals into my body. So now that would be like a good, like a next step up, if you will.
Yeah.
But in lieu of that, I mean, you have to think overall, even tap water in most major cities of countries around the world, it's good enough. Like, it's not maybe the best you want to drink, but the fact is people have lived for a long time on that stuff. And there could be extra calcium or extra chloride or even fluoride, like things that you may not necessarily want, but that's still better than not drinking water at all, because you die a lot faster from dehydration,
Right.
Now, with respect to the fruits and vegetables stuff, sure, the antioxidants that occur naturally are very powerful, and there's new discoveries all the time. There's recently some stuff coming out from tangerines, and tangerines are not they're not consumed in high amounts, normally, but some of the tangeratin and some of these new flavonoids that are coming out, they're really impressive in how they help people and fight inflammation and other things. So
Amazing.
I wouldn't be surprised as every few years you're going to see new fruit or new superfruit like kind of coming back around in a cycle of products, because like people had access to tangerines for years, but now new research comes out and so now they start eating tangerines. They were always there,
Right.
Yeah. But in terms of like maybe ways to help people get rid of inflammation, mentioned, so staying hydrated.
Yeah.
And part of the rationale for that is it's been shown that the more water going through you, the more that you get rid of inflammatory markers in your urine. So you can literally lower risk factors for heart disease just by keeping water going.
Huge point.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated. Water.
Yeah.
And you don't get hydrated with sodas, pops,
Nah.
coffee.
Yeah.
You can with green tea, can't you? And some of the decent teas, but you will never get hydrated when you drink soda.
Yeah. I mean, in general, there's a lot of concerns. Each country around the world has sort of like different laws or standards about how to evaluate and approve foods for safe consumption. One of my personal pet peeves in the United States is how is it that foods like Gatorade, a liquid like Gatorade, is categorized as a food when artificial chemicals, nothing in that product occurs in nature, and yet it's considered a food. Like, to me, that should be illegal.
100%,
that should actually be, I don't even know if I would call it a supplement, I would call that a drug, actually, in my personal definition. And yet, here we have plants that we're putting in capsules, and that's referred to as a supplement. There's some of the standards, I would say right now, I don't agree with scientifically or even personally, like, wow, so we're kind of misleading people, in some ways. But anyway, then one other thing, movement.
Yeah.
So one of the things I consistently see, we have people come in with all kinds of serious orthopedic problems. It could be rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, it could be some other kind of unique joint or bone condition. And despite all these different things that they're dealing with, because of the pain they experience, in other words, the inflammation, their joints get so severe they can't move, none of their doctors actually help them to move.